Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Neghin for those of you that are new, and for those of you that are returning, yay, thanks. Anyways, I wanted to create this makeup look for you guys. It's super editorial, super cool, super edgy. I actually saw more or less this exact makeup look. I'm not saying like products were the same, but the look was the same on Pinterest. I saved the picture, but of course now that I'm like trying to look for it, I can't find it. But it's like cemented into my mind because I was so obsessed with it and I was like, I need to recreate this look. So I'm gonna be using some surprising products on my eyes to create this look. And yeah, if you love it and you wanna see how I got this look, make sure to keep on watching. All right guys, sorry, I just did my brows, I put on the Scotch tape, I wasn't recording. It's been a while since I've recorded a video, so obviously I'm a little rusty. Anyways, my hair is crazy, but I felt inspired because I saw a picture on Pinterest, needed to recreate it, and sat down to recreate it. I literally have like a white wall behind me. So, not fancy, shadows, literally another white wall. But I wanted to create this for you guys. So I did my brows off camera on accident, and then I also took 2 pieces of Scotch tape, put them on my hands, got the stickiness off, and then aligned them up with the tip of my brows. So the game plan is to start with the eyes, then go into the face, do all of the face, and then go in and finish the eyes. So, let's see. I don't have my makeup brushes. What is going on with me today? I feel super old school because I'm actually gonna be using 2 MAC brushes for my entire eye look, so that's exciting. Anyways, this MAC brush has no writing on it because it's been used and abused. I think this is the 217 because this is the 242, and I know those are like the 2 OGs for me. But anyways, I'm gonna take what I think is the MAC 217 and I'm gonna go in with the Daddy-O Omega Shadow from Marc Jacobs. I've used this in a few tutorials, at least on Instagram. I'm not sure if I've used it on YouTube yet. For me, it's the best transition color I could use. So that's what I'm gonna use it for, just as a transition. And I actually don't even want the shadow to show up too much. So I'm gonna really blend it out and diffuse it. Okay, so the transition is done. I'm gonna go in, well, I don't have red eyeshadow, so I'm gonna go in with the closest thing that I have to red eyeshadow, and that's actually this blush by MAC. Let me take it out of the Z palette, and this is called Apple Red. So it looks like that. It's definitely not like a true red. It does have like a pink undertone, but it's a lot more red in person than I think the camera's picking up. So now I'm gonna go in with my MAC 242 at a double check, and I'm just gonna use this as eyeshadow basically. I'm gonna start by tapping in the color all over the lid. I'm gonna keep it right now just completely on the lid. So this is really pigmented for a blush, but of course blushes are normally not as pigmented as shadow, so this is gonna take a little more patience. You're gonna have to go in a couple more times if you ever happen to use this color or, you know, another blush as a shadow. All right, and now I'm gonna do the tail. So that's why we have the Scotch tape there, so we can make sure it's perfectly lined. I'm just gonna take the shadow across like that. And I'm gonna start bringing it up a little more so I can get the shape that I want. Okay, so now we have the shape that we want. So what I'm gonna do is take that same blending brush that we used in the transition with no additional product, and I'm just gonna go buff out the edges a little bit. Not too much on the edge because I want that somewhat sharp, but not fully sharp, but definitely along the crease. Okay. And now it's just about building up this color and making sure this eye matches this eye. so my eye shapes are a little bit different. This eyebrow bone is a lot lower, so I need to just make sure the shapes actually match when you look straight on, because right now they match size-wise, but when you look straight on, they look like they're two different shapes. Now I'm gonna build up the color a little more. And again, just patting the color onto the eye. Alrighty, so I'm pretty happy with the saturation of that color. And I know I said, I'm gonna put my hair back because it's getting really annoying. Where's my hairband? Okay. So I know I said that I was gonna do my eyes and then go to my face and then finish off my eyes. So this was actually the part I was gonna take off the tape and finish my eyes, but I kind of want to do the last step of the eyes before I take off the tape, and I obviously don't want to put tape back on once I finish my eyes. So I'm just gonna finish the eyes. Anyways, this is like the exciting part. This is how you're gonna get your eyes glossy. So there are a bunch of products out there, like mixing mediums that you can put to give your eyes, lips, whatever, cheeks, glossy finishes. There's one that I recently started using, but I can't talk about yet, that does an amazing job. But until that comes out, honestly, my go-to was always to use a lip gloss on my eyes if I wanted the Editorial wet look, because all the mixing mediums I've used until this new one, I've never loved. They've always creased on me, but lip glosses tend to be a little bit thicker, so they don't crease as much. Surprisingly, because normally you would think the thicker consistency would crease more, not in this case. Anyways, so I'm gonna use a lip gloss on my eyelids to give me that glossy look, and I'm actually gonna go in with an old school product, and this is the Lancome Juicy Tube, and I'm using, what color is this? You know, I don't know. It does have numbers on here, so I would have to look online and just see if I can find that exact shade. But I was gonna use a clear gloss originally when I was playing around with this makeup look last night, but I thought about it and I was like, this has a red finish to it. It's basically clear, but with a little bit of a red tint, so I might as well just use this because it'll amp up any color on my eye. So I'm gonna use that same MAC 242, and I mean, you can see how there's, I don't know if you can see that, but you can see the shadow on there from last night. And I'm just gonna take a little bit on my brush and then brush it on my lids like a shadow. It's that easy. Now with this, the trick is just try to stay as much on your crease as possible, with the exception of that wing. I mean, sorry, stay on your lid as much as possible, with the exception of the wing, because if you go into the crease, that's when it starts getting a little harder to work with. You know what's funny is last night when I was playing around with this look, because I was playing around with it off camera obviously, I did this so much faster with so much less stress. Sometimes it comes out better that way. And just like that, you have a glossy red eye. And you see how much more pigmented it looks because you used a gloss with a little bit of, like a little tint of red in it. And that's literally it for the eyes. How insanely easy is such a look like this? Like, this feels, when you see it, especially with like a full face of makeup on, feels really intimidating. Especially, like, I don't use color in my makeup normally, so I'm really proud of myself for figuring out a really easy way to achieve such an editorial look. Okay, now we take off the tape. See how cool that is when you have the tape there? You just have to be like really careful you don't ruin that precise line when you put your foundation on. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with a new primer. I can't talk. This is the Leveler. It's the pore minimizing primer. It smooths and fills your pores, and it's from Beauty Blender. So I've actually used this, but I used it in their studio, hence why this one's new. And I'm just gonna mix this up really, really well because this one's brand new. You can obviously use this with a Beauty Blender. I'm just gonna go straight in with my hands. Okay, before before I go in with foundation, I'm just going to use my Becca, what is this called? Brightening, I can't talk, under eye brightening corrector. So I'm just going to take it on my fingers and put this directly under my eyes. Again, be really careful when you go to that precise line you created with the tape. You don't want to ruin all that. Just put some foundation on the actual beauty blender. No. Okay. Foundation, beauty blender. I can't seem to think today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm kind of just gonna put it everywhere, and then I'll go in and do the under eyes really carefully. See how fast that covers up like everything on my face? It's insane how crazy the coverage is on this. Now I'm gonna take the smaller side of the beauty blender, like the pointed side, take a little foundation on there, and very carefully I'm gonna get as close to the under eye as possible. And I have to get on the side of the nose. And you don't need to worry about getting like a lot of foundation there, because I'm gonna my hair because we're obviously gonna go in with concealer too, so that's gonna help cover up anything. I wanted to be safe when I do the concealer, so I went and grabbed my smaller beauty blender. I'm gonna use the NARS Creamy Concealer in Custard. And to be quite honest, for this look, I obviously want the eyes to be the focus, so I'm not gonna worry about like too much contouring, highlighting, and everything. Like, I'm actually gonna keep the face pretty neutral, but you always want to give it some highlight and contour, because you don't want to have your face look flat and like one-dimensional. So I'm just gonna add, I mean, you can see how little I'm adding and how this is almost my shade, just a smudge lighter. But I'm also really white right now, like it's insane. I need a spray tan bad. Using that same little beauty blender, I'm just gonna go straight into powder. And this is a mix of RCMA and the Banana Powder by Ben Nye. Pat that into the eye completely. Again, I'm not gonna bake or do anything crazy, because I want the face to be as simple and like subdued as possible. This is just to make sure, like I would skip this part, but I want to make sure that we don't crease. Now I'm going to go in with my cream bronzer. No surprise here, I'm using the Chanel Tan de, I still don't know the name even though I've been using this for years. The Soleil Tan de Chanel Cream Bronzer. There we go. It's like on its last leg. I need to go get a new one. I don't know why I didn't do that, because I was at the mall today. Okay, so you put this everywhere. You would normally bronze and contour, but I'm gonna be messy. Guys, I'm telling you, I could do this look so fast if I wasn't talking in camera and like worrying about where everything is and having a smaller workspace. But I'm gonna go in with this Almay blush. Well, technically it's a bronzer in Sunkissed, but I love this as a like blush color, because it just gives you a bronzed look but as blush. That made no sense. That makes sense in my head. And to be honest, the first year I was using this product, I actually did think it was blush, because I for some reason never got the back. And then when I needed to figure out what color it was so I can tell someone, I saw, oh, I poked myself in the eye and I got a little bit of red on the edge. So I'm gonna wipe that off, but luckily it didn't transfer anywhere. Well, actually it did a little bit, but it's okay, we'll fix it. Because I'm still being lazy and I don't want to go get up and get a Q-tip. I'm just gonna use my beauty blender. The pros of having a beauty blender. Now I'm gonna smudge it a little bit on this side too, so it looks the same. And I wasn't planning on going with eyeshadow under the eye, but now I'm going to, because I have a little bit of red, and then I'll give you like a sick look. So almost like a vampire look. You don't want that. Okay, where's my makeup eyeshadow? So now taking, ooh, I need to go get a new blush because it says red all over it now. Okay, I'm taking the Morphe E18. I put some of that Marc Jacobs eyeshadow that we use in the transition on the brush, and I'm just gonna basically smoke out the bottom lash line, but not too much, just enough to cover up the fact that I stabbed myself in the eye and moved around the eyeshadow a little bit. So for the eyes, you can totally stop right here. I think it's actually very editorial if you don't put mascara on, but I'm gonna put on mascara just so you guys can see like the complete look with all the steps, but feel free to stop right here with the eyes. So I'm gonna use the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir Mascara. What else is new? This just happens to be a sample size because I ran out. But I had this, so I figured I would just use this before I went out and bought a new one. So the look like this, at least in my opinion, I wouldn't go in with lashes, only because like the eyelid, like the eyeshadow, not just the eyes, but the eyeshadow and the whole editorial wet look is supposed to be the star of the show. And sometimes if you put on big lashes, it can cover up everything until you look down. So, I mean, in my personal opinion, I wouldn't put on lashes, but do you, honey boo boo, do you. I feel like with new mascaras, I don't know if you guys feel like this, but I feel like with new mascaras, it's not as good in the beginning. Like you have to use it a couple times until it gets really good. All right, eyes are basically done. I am just gonna take the Benefit 24-hour brow setter gel and brush up my brows. This will also help keep them in place and get rid of any foundation that was stuck in them, because we did do our brows before we did our foundation. So going with the whole basically neutral look, I am now gonna go in, well, neutral with the eyes. I'm gonna go in with this lippy stick from ColourPop, and the sticker fell off on the bottom, so I will let you guys know what color this is. I'm not even gonna lighten my lip, keep this like really chill actually. And then I'm gonna top off my lips just so it has a little bit of gloss. I'm gonna keep it right in the like center of the lips with this Buxom lip gloss in Camilla. Just like that, like just in the middle. I'm gonna tie the glossy lips to the glossy eyes, but I don't want the glossy lips to be overpowering. Alright guys, that wraps up this tutorial. It says I've been talking for like 40 minutes, 40 plus minutes. But I promise you, if I'm doing this off camera, the eyes would probably take me about 8 minutes and everything else would take me under 5. So it's just really quick, really editorial, looks super glam, looks super difficult, but it's not. I mean, the eyes took 3 steps, that's it. So, and you can technically skip the transition shade because I actually ended up bringing it up higher, so I didn't really need the transition shade, but my plan was originally not to bring it up as high, so that's why I put in the transition shade. But yeah, this is it. But you guys, that's it. This wraps it up. I hope you guys love this makeup tutorial as much as I did. Don't forget to like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, all of the above. It helps me out so much. But yeah, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next makeup tutorial.